Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am your host, Save Our Children TV. My name is Charles, and I am here to advocate. I'm here to advocate for children first who can't advocate for themselves. Okay. As I was saying, I'm here to advocate for children first. And today's story is called Eight. Let me go to the title and see what it's called. I know it's eight something. It's called Eight Upsetting Stories. Eight Upsetting Stories. We're gonna talk about it. First, let me see how my audio is doing. We're gonna talk about it. First, let me see how my audio is doing. We're gonna talk about it. First, let me see how my audio. Okay, that's good. Now, our first story takes us. Our first story is about a teen girl who she's a volleyball star. She loses both her legs after a career criminal chose to drive drunk and run her and her family over as she was walking to volleyball practice. We're going to talk about the story first. This happened in St. Louis. So St. Louis is going to take an air. A teenage, sorry, a gifted teenage athlete visiting.
Wonderful kid with a great smile.
A gifted teenage athlete visiting St. Louis for a volleyball tournament was hit by a car, resulting in both of her legs having to be amputated. A suspect in the crash has been arrested. Janae Edmondson was walking back to her St. Louis hotel with her family Saturday night when she was struck and critically injured, according to Jeff Wismer, the assistant director at Middle Tennessee Volleyball Club. And Edmondson played for the 18 Blue team and had just committed to playing volleyball in college. A wonderful kid with a great smile, a three-sport athlete, Wismer said she had lost both limbs below her waist. So far, us. How do you find words to explain our sorrow? We really can't. Emerson was struck around 8:40 p.m. Saturday, according to St. Louis police. A gray Audi Q5 ran a yellow sign at the intersection and hit a Chevy Malibu. The Malibu went airborne and hit Emerson, pinning her between it and a parked car. The teenager suffered critical injuries that resulted in an amputation of both her legs, changing her life forever, KMOV reports. We have frustration, we have anger over any responsible act. A missed sign or whatever was a caution of this was my sad. Wisman described Emerson as a teen with so much promise ahead of her. Now she faces a long road to recovery. The road in front of Janae is tough. There's going to be a lot of challenges ahead, financial challenges, emotional challenges. Wisman said we're hoping that our community can embrace this family as she goes through the unique time in her life that you can never imagine. This is an unthinkable situation that she has to encounter right now. A GoFundMe account has been created to help the Emerson family with medical expenses. More than $75,000 has already been raised. Citizen for a Safer Downtown St. Louis shared video from the night of the crash, which alleged showed the driver of the Audi, identified by police as 21-year-old Daniel Riley, Daniel Riley, who failed to yield and hit the Malibu that was crossing the intersection. Riley and a passenger in the Malibu were taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Riley was later arrested for 3 counts of assault on criminal action and operating a vehicle without a valid license. Police allege he was driving 45 miles per hour, 20 above the speed limit when the crash happened. A probable cause statement against Riley stated he is currently on bond for other pending charges. Of robbery and armed criminal action. He got a personal recognition bond in August of 2022 on the condition of GPS monitoring and house arrest. The statement goes on to say he has received numerous GPS violations, the last one filed last Monday, just 5 days before the crash. The rest of the volleyball community who took part in the President's Day Classic tournament at the America's Center is reading from the news about Edmondson. Scott McQueen, the owner of Capital Sports Center, which hosts the tournament, called the incident a tragedy. Now, the thing is this. This guy had a horrible criminal background, and he's 21. He was on house arrest multiple times back in 2022. So it tells me that he should have never been driving. And the thing is this. If he's a danger to society with always committing crimes, he should be in jail. He should have been in jail a long time ago. And he hit and injured a 16-year-old who lost both of her limbs, her legs, due to his neglect, due to him not paying attention when he's driving a vehicle, speeding. Things like that happen. I just don't understand why people have the right to be on the streets when we are operating a vehicle in such high capacity. And there's a speeding zone, where it tells you to slow down, not to go this type of speed, use this type of speed, slow down. Instead, he accelerated and he couldn't control the vehicle and crashed. Um, just people like that needs to be off the streets. Hear the news video.
Three-sport athlete in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, who just committed to play college volleyball next year.
Those are just some of the words to describe Janae Edmondson, a gifted athlete whose life has now been forever changed.
She has lost both limbs below her waist. So, for us, how do you find words to explain our sorrow? We really can't.
Jeff Wismer is the assistant director at Mid-10 Volleyball Club, in which Edmondson played for. It was while walking back to her hotel with her family Saturday night that she was struck by a car.
We have frustration. We have anger over an irresponsible act, a missed sign, or whatever was the causation of this.
This is video shared with News 4 capturing the moment in which the crash happened. The gray Audi Q5 seen here driving westbound through the intersection on St. Charles Street, failing to yield, while a second car, a Chevy Malibu, driving northbound on 11th, strikes the Audi. The Audi strikes Edmondson before rolling onto its roof. Some of the aftermath can be seen through these images.
I think everybody, wants to hug their parents and hug their kids and be a little bit tighter with them because you never know when something like this can happen. But again, we have a great volleyball community here, and everybody is banding together and really supporting Middle Tennessee, the volleyball club.
Scott McQueen is the owner of Capital Sports Center, host of the President's Day Classic tournament this weekend in St. Louis.
I mean, it's anytime you're in a big city, we try to make sure that we have the kids aren't walking by themselves. This doesn't sound like it was anything that could have been prevented on their side. It's just it's a tragedy.
As Edmondson continues her long road to recovery, a GoFundMe created by the volleyball community is raising money to help support her and her family.
The road from Janae is tough. There's going to be a lot of challenges ahead, financial challenges, emotional challenges, that we're hoping that our community can embrace this family as she goes through this unique time in a life that you can never imagine. This is an unthinkable situation that she has to encounter right now.
Okay. It's just stupidity among stupidity. This person obviously was dangerous to society. And the fact that he chose to be careless and chose to drive a vehicle, knowing that he have a horrible background and he's always in trouble. So why drive a vehicle knowing that you couldn't operate that vehicle? Obviously. So he put the public in risk. He put himself and the passenger in the vehicle at risk. People crossing the streets that night at risk. He put a lot of people's lives in danger. And he's in a place where he should have been a long time ago, and that's jail. Pray for this 16-year-old to make a full recovery. Her name is Janae Edmondson. Janae Edmondson, Edmondson. Put your hands up in the comments for Janae Edmondson. We hope she make a full recovery. Let's move on to our second story. Orlando, Texas. Orlando, Florida. The story coming out of Orlando. Three hours ago, this happened. 3 hours ago in Orlando. Yep, 3 hours ago today. Reporter, a 9-year-old girl, is killed in a shooting. Pine Hills, Florida, Texas. A suspect was taken into custody on Wednesday after an Orlando journalist and a 9-year-old child was killed and 2 others were shot in Pine Hills. So we got 3 dead, 2 injured in a series of shootings on Wednesday. 9-year-old girl, 2 news reporters killed. A 19-year-old suspect was arrested, no more identified. The news reporter said she had gut feeling to leave before a gunshot broke out. According to Orange County Sheriff John Mena, deputies got report of 2 shootings around 4:05 p.m. One of the shootings happened on Hialeah Street, where deputies had been investigating a separate homicide earlier that day. A woman later identified as 38-year-old Nachea Augustin was shot and killed there about 11 a.m. An affidavit revealed the suspect's demeanor before he allegedly opened fire. At the scene, deputies found 2 Spectrum News 13 employees shot. One of them was dead and the other is in critical condition. The deceased reporter has been identified as Dylan Lawrence. It's unclear if the suspect knew if they were news media or not. Men said we're just still trying to work out all of that. The vehicles were almost exactly in the same spot as the vehicle from the homicide this morning, so it's unclear what exactly they were targeted. Deputies said after the shooting, the news crew, the suspect then ran to a nearby home on Huntington Street. Deputies said after shooting the news crew, the suspect then went to a nearby home on Harrington Street and shot a 9-year-old girl who later died. The girl was identified as Tiana Major, according to GoFundMe page and another fundraiser. She was outgoing and loved gymnastics. Her mother was also shot and she is in critical condition. Keith Moses, 19, is believed to have been the gunman involved in all the shootings. A judge has denied him bond. On Thursday, Mina explained part of the timeline between when the shootings Harrington Street took place and when the suspect was arrested. He said when they arrested Moses, his Glock handgun was still on him and no more rounds were inside. Deputies believe the same weapon was used in all of the killings. Several witnesses near the scene identified Moses as the shooter, and video evidence showed him at the scene, according to Mina. While under arrest, Moses told deputies he was injured, so they took him to the hospital where he allegedly fought with hospital staff. The suspect was then taken to the sheriff's office during the interrogation. Deputies said Moses pretended to be asleep before he began physically resisting and had to be subdued. When asked if the suspect was experiencing a mental health episode, Mina said the suspect may have been under the influence as deputies noted his eyes were dilated. Now, see, this is the thing. How do you just wake up one morning and shoot and kill people, let alone walk in somebody else's house and gun down the 9-year-old child? I mean, just like I don't know, Sway. Like I just don't understand what people go through on a day-to-day basis. Like what registered in your mind? What gave you the right just to walk in somebody else's door and kill that 9-year-old daughter? I mean, like it's like we gotta stop. This we gotta stop doing. When people commit mass shootings or just a shooting and somebody dies, we gotta stop using the word we think he's under the influence or he had mental issues or he had this, he had that. No, we gotta stop doing that. He knew what he was doing, whether he was high or not. He knew what he was doing. And that's not used under the influence as an excuse for what he did. Because what he did was change multiple people's lives forever. That's what he did. So at the end of the day, if we're going to say that he was under the influence, well, the under the influence then caused the killings. He did. He chose to be a coward. He got to live with it for the rest of his life. Just how you kill a news reporter. You're suspected of killing a woman earlier that day. Then you go into someone's house and kill the child and injure the mother. It's like it's just what goes through your mind. And when he gets to court and they find him guilty, 9 out of 10, his attorney's gonna try to say he was trying to make an excuse for him. You can't do that. Because then when you do something like that, when you make an excuse for somebody who killed multiple people, then people are gonna start using insanity pleas. That's what's called insanity. We gotta stop using insanity pleas in courts too. That's not an excuse. Somebody shoot. Let's say for example, somebody shoot at a house. They shoot the house 18 times. Nobody hurt, but then they set the house on fire. That's not in us. You can't say, even though he was found guilty of arson and shooting up a house, that's still insanity. He was mental illness. You can't stop using mental illness for an excuse. These people know what they're out here doing. They're out here running people's lives, and we gotta hold people accountable. And I am the voice, okay, of this 9-year-old child. Okay. I am speaking for that child. She can't speak for herself no more because this person gunned her down. I'm the voice of the injured mother. I'm the voice of the news reporter and everybody that was injured and killed that day, earlier today. Because I think it happened earlier today. I'm the voice for those people. We got to stop using insanity pleas around here because it's garbage. It is garbage to use insanity. It's no excuse for what people do nowadays. Bottom line, condolences to the family, to all the families, and those who were injured. Please make a full recovery. To the suspect, you gonna have your day in court, and I hope they give you the max. I hope you get wherever is coming your way, whether that's life imprisonment without parole or if that's death penalty. You deserve to be locked away for a very long time for what you did, very long time, or the death penalty because it is Florida, so you might be getting execution. You need something. You need to get out of here. Keep everybody in your thoughts and prayers. Keep the family in your thoughts and prayers. It's crazy what's going on in Orlando. Now these next stories, story 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's again story 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All about, let's see, hear this. Our third, hold on, hold on. That before we talk about our fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth story, we want to talk about our third story. This story just happened not too long ago out of Cobb County, and I actually watched the news video, so I decided to talk about it. This happened out of Cobb County in Atlanta, so they're taking air. A school bus driver walks, sorry, not walks, breaks in to a 10-year-old girl's home, and he was the driver for the child. So let's talk about the story. You can't even be surprised with these stories no more. And I think it's sad because it's like we'll give people the right to walk into somebody else's home. I would never know. 22 hours ago, I'm on 11 Alive. 11 Alive. Cobb County, Georgia. A Cobb County bus driver was arrested after he broke into a 10-year-old girl's home Monday, according to an arrest warrant. The child's mother, Casey Sia, told investigators that the man walked into the home on Monday, closed the door behind him, and asked her where the girl was. Sia said she was suspicious as to why a bus driver would enter her home, especially as students did not have class due to the President's Day holiday. He came in, he shut the door. This doggy bell is how we heard him. He started to walk. My boyfriend stopped him right here, added Sia, describing the moments when the man walked into her home. The man claimed he was the child's bus driver and that he wanted to check on her. After the mother began questioning him, he left the home, the warrant said. Sia believed he was there to harm the girl and had visited the home 3 times before the break-in. According to the warrant, she said after he rushed out, she called the school district and police. It won't go through your mind the situation that could have happened, especially if we wasn't there, said Sia boyfriend Corey Kenny. Investigators were also told that the bus driver was asking neighbors where the girl lived. A district spokesperson for Cobb County Schools released a statement following the last break-in, saying that they were aware of the allegation and that it's under investigation. The district was notified of this allegation Tuesday and is currently under active investigation. All district policy and the law will be strictly applied and we cannot comment further on this time. At this time, sorry. As for Sia, she said her 10-year-old daughter won't be riding the bus anytime soon. The man was arrested for first-degree burglary and loitering. I want to just say this. I do. I want to say this. When I watched the news conference, the mother said this man came to her house not once, not twice, not 3 times, but he was hiding in front of the house. He was hiding. I'm assuming behind a tree. So this is the thing. And shout out to AFC Podcast. If you see something, say something. Atlanta is a suburb, and somebody would have to see this guy the first time as he was around the neighborhood, just lurking and spying. Nobody called the police for suspicious activity of a suspicious person. See, we fail to. This is how we fail our children, and we fail the community, because we see something and we don't report it. If this was reported first, if this was reported the first time, this guy would have been locked up, at least for suspicion of a crime. See, or he would have been cited, or the mother could have got a restraining order against the driver, or something could have happened. Then the next two times he wouldn't be able to come over there. You see what I'm saying? We fail to take action, and then we quit to cry and get in our feelings when something bad happened, and get mad when we stand at a candlelight vigil. But if you would have did something a long time ago, you wouldn't have to have a candlelight vigil. Okay? Bad things happen when we wait so long to see something, to say something. So, I think somebody should have reported it a long time ago. I know somebody had to see this man, and I, because the story is still under investigation. This is still under investigation. Um, I can't suspect. Um, I can't, go into more further details about what I think about it. But or who was wrong or who is right. So this is what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna leave it there and let the police do their job. I'm just gonna say this. Please watch your children, and keep an eye on these school bus drivers, because you think that they're nice, but yet they got other plans. Some of these bus drivers are not just drivers for an accident. Some of these drivers, are drivers for one thing only, and that's to prey on children. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You have a lot of drivers like that who are suspicious. I'm telling you, watch out for these drivers. You never know who's driving your children. I ain't trying to be funny, but I've covered a lot of stories of school bus drivers been arrested for doing devious things to children on school buses, going to their homes, kidnapping them, all of that. You gotta be careful with these school bus drivers nowadays. Gotta be careful. All right. Um, Hopefully the parents file a lawsuit or something with the district, school bus district, or whatever. So let's pray for this child that she you know wanted to experience that again from a creepy bus driver or anybody in a community. All right. Now these next few stories are 4 out of 8, and these all got one story from Diablo View Middle School. We're gonna talk about that story. The first story we're gonna talk about are cotton jokes, Black History Month, and people are doing jokes in middle school. West Sullivan Middle School attack. Somebody was attacked at a middle school. Our sixth story, John Knight Middle School in Sacramento. Something happened at with racism. Our seventh story is about a racist incident at a Baxley Middle School. And our last one, story 8, is at Pepper Tree Elementary School, California, where a student was bullied and parents took her after school, and what's about that story. It's a lot going on about middle schools and elementary schools. We're going to talk about it. I think it needs to be talked about. As I was looking up Diablo View Middle School cotton joke, it's and this happened back on February 13th. Um, Another article put out the school. A teacher was arrested at the same school last year. I definitely wouldn't enroll my student in a school like that. Teachers being arrested. It's suspicious. I would be suspicious all the time. Gotta be careful. A racist joke involving cotton balls rose Bay Area school. A student at Contra Costa County Middle School was punished last week for handing out cotton balls at school and what district officials say was a racist joke aimed at making fun of Black History Month celebrations. Adam Clark, the superintendent of the Mint Diablo Unified School District, notified parents about the incident, which occurred at Diablo View Middle School in Clayton, via email on Thursday. Unfortunately, we as school and district leaders missed a crucial opportunity to turn this bullying and racist incident into a learning opportunity. Clark said in the email, which was shared with SF Gate, I will correct that action. That said, MT Diablo Unified School District is committed to creating a safe and welcoming environment for all students. The district did not immediately reply to an SFG Gate request for more information on what Clark deemed inaction by school and district leaders. Clark's statement to present state multiple students took part in the stunt, but only the student who brought the cotton balls to school was punished. In a statement, Clark did not specify what grade the student was in or did they say what disciplinary action was taken against the student. Before we go further, I'm going to give you the definition. Okay, and I wrote this definition down of racism. Racism is prejudice, discrimination, orient, orient, antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in particular racial or ethnic group. Typically, that is a minority or marginalized. Now, and when I talked about it starts at home, my other videos, it starts at home. A student, okay, brought cotton balls from home to school. Let's think about that for a second. From home to school. So the thing is this. Parents got to be more vigilant on what their children are doing and what they're doing in the school, especially when your children are in elementary and middle schools, because it's important to know what's in your children's backpack. Children are taking guns to school nowadays. Children are taking cotton balls to school nowadays. Racist pictures. We got to be more vigilant about our children doing in school. There's no excuse. You are a parent for one reason. You are a parent when you chose to bring a life into the world. So when you decide to do that, you chose to be a parent. You don't have a right to neglect or fail to check your children's backpack. Knowing that bullying and racism are going on in these schools, as a parent, that should tell you to search their backpacks before they leave out the door to go on the school bus. That should tell you to check their coats, check everything. You just don't know. You want to be on the safe side. And I just don't understand why would you bring cotton balls to school? It's just it starts at home. It starts at home. You gotta be careful, parents, when your children are around. Okay, when your children are around you, you want to phone talking to their friends, making jokes because they could pick jokes up too, and that could be taken to school, and there could be serious repercussions. And also, there needs to be more talk about at these schools about bullying and racism. A lot of schools are not talking about it. They're not teaching the children right from wrong. So, come on, teachers. It's Black History Month. Let's talk about bullying. I think that's the number one important thing to do because you're saving children's lives. You are saving victims of being bullied. So do your job as teachers and teach these children what bullying could do to somebody, what racism could do to somebody. It can lead to bad repercussions. It could lead to the S word. I can see on YouTube. It reminds me of suicide. Put the S in front of it. Please take the time out to talk to your children. Let's move on. My phone's gonna die pretty soon. It's like on 8%. Give me a second. 6%. Portland takes an L. We're in Oregon. Portland school leaders apologize for not alerting entire district of violent racist attack at middle school. Let's see. Those reporters described a similar attack in which a black student who had been excused to use the water fountain was confronted by two other students. Raheem Alexander, the father of the boy, was victimized, told news agencies that two students tied his son's hands behind his back and told him they were going to do a George Floyd. Alexander said the two boys forced his son onto the hallway floor and put a knee on his back and were going to wait 20 seconds. Alexander told media outlets afterwards that he wasn't satisfied with how the district and school responded to the incident, which occurred in mid-January. A message went out to West Sullivan families 5 days after the assault, according to Cohen's reporting earlier this month. It said the student responsible for the harm will be disciplined and that the school won't be what the school will be incorporating anti-racist teaching and response. Okay, number one, you know, first of all, I'm gonna tell you where that student got that ignorant remark from. Okay, about the George Floyd remark. I'm gonna tell you where the child got it from. The mother probably let her child watch that video, let her child watch the video of George Floyd being killed by them officers that day. Probably would let him watch the video. And he thought it would have been a joke to bring that to school and do that upon another student. Parents, it's your job to monitor what the children watch. Okay, it's not their job to watch you. It's your job to monitor what your children are watching. And why would you allow your children to watch such a horrible video like that in the first place? See what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. And it starts at home. And some of these stories that I'm talking about, I guarantee you, single mother households. No fathers in the home. Like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. What's going on in the media with these schools? Something has to be done. It's not okay what these students are doing to each other. It's abusive and it's a crime. It's a felony. So parents, take the time out, Talk to your children about racism, about bullying, because the last thing you need to do, the last thing you should want to do, is end up finding your child the D word because he's being bullied or she's being bullied, or got to go to the school and found out that the child declared himself or herself and is end up in the coroner's office because of bullying. We gotta stop this epidemic. This epidemic. We gotta teach our children, people, what bullying can do to a person, what racism could do to a person. It doesn't matter that it's you know, and I hear this all the time, and in the news. Oh, it's Black History Month, and this is what happened during Black History Month. But it's unacceptable. It's not funny, and I think that there's so much we're dealing with racism already. And by adding that on to us, okay, and it's not right. We're trying to break the cycle of racism. And when we sit back and watch children belittle other children, that I think is disgusting. And you are raising, okay, you are raising children to be disgusting to one another. Quit raising. First of all, if you know your children are out here bullying other children about racism or or bullying them for other reasons, then you as a parent need to take your child and get them some help because that's not okay. And bullying, if you think your child is bullying people, right, it could turn from them bullying somebody to them shooting up something. It's just that simple. I just don't understand what, like, why and who would allow their children to watch such a horrible video like that. Like, I wouldn't, because I think that it serves no purpose to have a child basically victimize your child to watch something like that, or force your child to watch something like that at that young age, especially because children don't know better at a certain age. So I just wouldn't allow a child, maybe from five to, let's say, 5 to 10, to watch something like that. You should be waiting till they get at least 11 and 13 to explain what happened and how they can change the world, okay? And talk to them about bullying and racism and why that's not okay. But when we continue, okay, allowing our children to watch videos that are graphic like that, and then they take that to school and make it a mockery, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Um, John Knight Middle School in Sacramento. I'm gonna pull up these stories real quick and just scroll through the article and so we at let's see. Sacramento, California, they taking the L. This story happened back on the 3rd of February, 2023. A Dixon student is reacting to a racist Instagram post. Again, when we allow our children to be on social media unattended, things like this happen. Wake up. Wake up. Quit letting children run the house. Watch what your children are doing on these platforms because they're going to get you and your child in trouble. Let's talk about it. Superintendent Brian Dolan said a parent made him aware of the post on Wednesday and called a parent meeting and news conference Wednesday night. This is the most extreme incident that I've been connected to in any way about this type of speech, this type of actions with regard to race, nothing close before it, and with complete disgrace, Dolan said. Dolan said the district identified a 7th grade student who made the post from his personal account at school. He said in a media post shows a twisted colleague of about 20 photos of 5 students from the middle school and its principal. In the photos, Dolan said they posed and smiled without knowledge of what the text of the post would read, which was Happy Black History Month to all of the monkeys. And repeat that again. Happy Black History Month to all of the monkeys. So this student obviously is a white student. And again, when you allow your children to run the house and not watch them and what they are doing on social media, things like this happen. And then you have parents crying at the school telling about I'm a good parent. Don't call. This right here could have got this parent arrested because she obviously the parents arrested because there's some supervision at home. And number two, this child could be in serious hot water for cyberbullying. When you calling people out their names who are African American, it tells me that you are racist, and it's not okay to bring that to a school. It's not okay to say it at all, anywhere, shape, or form. So I give the parents an F. I give the student an F. You failed. This parent failed. This child failed. If you thought that this comment that she said, "Happy Black History Month" to all the monkeys, if you thought you were doing something, you didn't. Because let me tell you, you did. You made it hard on yourself when you made this comment. When you wrote that post and the school saw this post, you were deemed. Now you are deemed a racist. And that's what's going to happen now because of this post. You're probably going to get suspended. And when you come back to school, you're going to be supervised. Because you're not going to be left alone. Because nobody's going to trust you to be left alone after making a comment like this. Let's see. Dolan said the district identified a 7th grade student who made the post from his personal account at school. So he did this at school. Still, the parents needs to sit down with this child and talk to this child and inform this child that his behavior is out of control. So I still blame the parents. The other stuff I said about the parents, I take it back. But it's still the parents' obligation. Before you send your child to school each and every day, Monday through Friday, you need to talk to your children about what they're posting, either at home or at school, because that could come around and bite you in a behind. Now, this happened at school, okay? Now, my thing is, where is everybody at when this child is typing this stuff? Why is it on social media at school? Again, the school is failing these children. It's the school that are failing the children. They're not supervising these children. They're letting these children do what they want to do. not reading what they post, not reading what they're doing on social media. He shouldn't have the opportunity to even write this garbage on his social media. That's it from what the superintendent is saying.
A little bit here, a little bit here. So I'm Brian Dolan, Superintendent of Schools here in Dixon Unified, and wanted to provide some information this evening related to just an ugly incident situation that took place at our middle school today. And
An ugly incident. The incident is right. It wasn't ugly. It was disgraceful. It was rude. It was it was horrible. Let's not minimize the situation. That's exactly what you're doing. You're minimizing something that this student shouldn't have been doing in the first place. Let's not minimize bad behavior. And you sound like it's just all right what he did. Oh, this happened in middle school. No, it was wrong. Okay? It was wrong. Face it.
And I'm going to try to give you some of the basic information and then open it up so anybody who has a question, including our families that are here tonight, going to clarify and add to anything that we can. So this afternoon, roughly 3:30, a parent came into the office at John Knight Middle School and reported to the administrative staff there about an Instagram post that was absolutely incredibly inappropriate and racially hateful that they had become aware of. Not
Racially hateful, yes. And that's how hate crimes happen. And that's how people shoot up black communities, schools, workplaces, DMVs, all places. People like that. That child was gonna grow up one day, continue doing this, growing up one day, and shooting at African American people. If this don't stop, he needs to be in a treatment facility, number one, and he needs to talk to somebody about this because it's not okay to write something like that about people. I don't any race. It could be Chinese, African American, white, black, Spaniels. You don't write something about people. Period. I think it's just okay. It's rude, hurtful, and demeaning. Slavery is a real thing. And back way in the 1800s, slavery was a big thing. Our ancestors had to deal with slavery. People, I watched documentaries where people were being killed in slavery, black people, and they were burnt alive into ashes, trying to fight for our freedom. And then when we get our freedom in America, we still are dealing with the same stuff because of our skin color. And guess what? You have people in the community who work in schools who just minimize it, make it seem like it's not a big deal. It's normal. Well, the thing is this it's racism, it's racist, and it's offensive. And the thing is this parent of this child have some explaining to do. And she needs to tell the school why he feels this type of way. Let me tell you this. This ain't the first time this child right about a racist comment on his Instagram. Ain't the first time he did it at school, probably. First time he got caught. I'm pretty sure if they go to his Instagram right now, it's gonna be more racist things on his Instagram. Which tells me why there's a middle schooler having an Instagram. And why would you be on Instagram in school? It just doesn't make sense to be on. What? Why? There's no supervision at the school, and then we're minimizing the problem that caused this. The cause is on supervision. The problem, the solution, is that we can fix this. This is fixable. We can fix this problem if we talk to students about race, about bullying, and it's going on in many schools today. And I think it's unfortunate that our students are feeling this way. But it's up to the adults to take control of the situation and not to make light of it or not to make it a funny thing. Racism is not a funny situation. It is serious and people are affected by it. And we are still dealing with the ignorance of people doing racism. So, let's continue.
Not sure how they had seen or heard about it. It might have been through their child. I'm not sure. So after just a little bit of time, the site was able to determine that these were in fact all John Knight Middle School students, as best they could tell. Actually, our principal, Ms. O'Connor, is included in a photograph amongst the other students. So went about the business of trying to identify the students who were enough. And so part of what we have to do in response to this.
So it looks like there's more than one student involved in this incident, more than multiple students who came together in school, wrote this on the gram, on one of their friends' gram, thought it was a joke, and sent it out. Well, see, this is the thing, okay? A lot of people have Instagram. A lot of people saw that. We don't send our kids to school for them to be on Instagram. We send them to school to learn. And if they have free time, they shouldn't be on social media. It's school hours. They should be in a play setting, maybe coloring, playing with toys, maybe not toys, this middle school we talk about. Coloring, maybe playing outside, their friends, interacting with each other, not writing and having a free time to be on social media. I blame the school for lack of supervision, first of all, and not telling these children to get off of social media. The school is at fault here, but the children responsible needs to be punished for this because it's not okay and it was hurtful. So let's talk about another story at a middle school. Before my phone died, we on 40%. Hold on, let me put this. I'm gonna charge my phone. And we're gonna talk about other stories. We have another racist incident at a school. Let's pull it up. This story happened out of Bexley Middle School. Teacher resigned after racist image shown during morning announcements. The teacher who supervised the announcements at Bexley Middle School resigned Friday, 1 week after racist image was shown during school's morning announcements. His resignation is effective immediately. Bexley City School Superintendent Jason Fine said in a letter to different families Friday night. We know this cannot be treated as any sort of ending or closure, and we are steadfast in our commitment to our continued effort to eradicate racism in Bexley schools, Fine said. The image of an orangutan eating a watermelon. The image of an orangutan eating a watermelon appeared on a green screen background after a historical fact was shared February 3rd as part of Black History Month. Watermelons became a racist trope during Reconstruction following the Civil War. Nearly free Black Americans grew, ate, and sold watermelons, and in doing so made their fruit a symbol of the freedom. William R. Black wrote for the Atlantic magazine until 2014. Bexley Board of Education was considered teachers' resignation as a special meeting as it appeared on Tuesday. There will be no public comment during the meeting, which is public. The teacher, who was not named, was originally put on administrative leave, and investigated is underway into how the image was selected and placed, and the daily presentation is underway. Most of the 17 people who signed up to speak during the public comment part of Wednesday's crowded Bexley School board meeting called for the teacher who supervised the middle school's morning announcements to be fired. There's no excuse for putting up a picture like that. Knowing that we've been through racism. These schools are failing our children, and this is where our children are getting this stuff from. It starts at school, okay? It starts at home, but it graduates to school. We gotta start holding teachers accountable, parents accountable who are teaching their children bad behavior at home. It's unacceptable. And they're bringing it to school and learning this from the school and at home. Something got to be done in both of these environments. Hire educated teachers, and parents needs to be taught that you can't tell children and teach children racist acts. I think that it's not going to be taken to school and presented as show and tell. We gotta come on. These are our children who one day gonna have to grow up as young adults. Okay, has to grow up as young adults and live in this world, knowing that racism are still gonna be here. Okay, we gotta show them that they are better than what people are telling them. It's our duty. Okay, it's the duty of parents to talk to our children. I don't have children, but I'm saying as an example, we gotta start talking to our children. We gotta start holding our parents, schools, teachers, bus drivers, everybody accountable who talk negative to our children, who are teaching our children about negativity. Point blank period. I'm gonna leave it at that. I got one more story, and this is out of Pepper Tree Elementary School. Now, who would name a school Pepper Elementary? And the only reason why I mentioned it is because pepper is black seasoning. So I don't think that I think that's just I don't like the name of the school. I find it offensive too because that's pepper is black. Okay, it's pepper seasoning is black. So I don't feel like that. I figured that they should change that name of the school. How about Green Tree Elementary School? Like, or something that's in that category. Pepper Elementary. I just don't. I feel like it's just too offensive, but just in my opinion. There you go. 3 days ago. Parents are outraged after a black student receives a racist drawings from a classmate at Upland Elementary School. 3 days ago. Parents of a student at an Upland Elementary School are demanding answers after a series of racist drawings a sixth grader allegedly gave to a fellow black student were discovered. This accident happened at Pepper Tree Elementary School and had rattled many in the Upland Unified School District. One of the drawings stated, "You are my favorite monkey," while another reads, "To my favorite cotton picker." The mother of the student who received these drawings told KTLA she has since pulled her daughter from the school after continued harassment from fellow students, and what she says has been little action from the Unplanned Unified School District. Parents of Marilena and Rome Douglas have 3 kids who attend the same school and said their daughter has been a target of racism as well. They said they were going to give her a drawing that specified said, "You're my favorite slave," and they were going to show her as a slave hanging from a tree. Maylana Douglas told KTLA the concerned parents also said a group of girls claimed they gave the daughter back rubs and massages because it's Black History Month. You know, people don't understand that if you pick on someone's child, that parent of that child you picked on have all rights have all rights to, first of all, they have all right to sue you as a child and your parent in court for harassment. They have all right to get a restraining order. They have rights to confront your parent and let it be known that you cannot just do anything and everything you want to do to the child. This is America. We live in America. And just to pick on somebody because of their race and because of what month it is and because of Black History Month is outrageous. What gives people the right to pick on other people's children? Back in the days, you could be kicked out of school for that, expelled. You just gotta be lucky that you're not dealing with parents who are very, very strict, because it could be a sad situation. And I urge the parent of this child who was being harassed during Black History Month, that you take legal actions. If that's getting an attorney, getting the police involved, suing the school, suing the parent of the child, suing that child, suing whoever responsible. Because there needs to be adult supervision in these schools. Students are getting away with so much stuff and they're not being punished for bad behavior. And that's why you have so many children grow up so young and then they're dead before the age of 18 because they're on the streets with the wrong crowd. So we got to start holding people accountable. And this mother needs to start holding these children accountable. She shouldn't have to remove her child from a school and put her in another school because people who are children chooses to bully and pick on them. You see what I'm saying? We gotta do better, people. I urge you, parents, if you have a child, this is the time to sit you and your child down and watch my video because this is a learning tool. This is serious. It is a felony. Harassment is a felony. Bullying is a felony. If somebody dies because of being bullied and they take their own life, you're going to jail. You're going to be tried as an adult. There's no more being tried as a juvenile. You chose the consequences. You chose your punishment. Do better. Do better. You are failing. Parents out here, you are failing your children when you do not discipline bad behavior. You are failing. Too many children are getting away with bullying other people's children, and it needs to stop before something bad happens. And you won't see your child no more because they'll be end up in prison, and you end up in jail being a neglectful parent. So many stories, 6 stories. With middle school children being racist and cruel against students. And now it's happening in elementary schools. What is going on? It is time to fix this bad behavior before it gets out of hand. Fix it. Sit your children down and talk to your children about racism and bullying because it can result in tragedy if you do not. Sit them down today. Talk to your children. It's very important. You saving your children's lives before they get into serious trouble. Like this video, comment this video, leave me some comments down below and tell me what you think about these stories. I think it's outrageous, and it's sad. Thumbs this video up. Subscribe to all them channels, and share this video with your family, friends, sister, brother, aunt, uncles, cousins. Share all right, worldwide. Share it. Let people know that I was live, and tell people about what I am doing. What is my purpose on this channel? My purpose on this channel is to advocate right here. Nope, right here. To advocate for children first. Save our children. Save our children TV. I'm here to save our children. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Bye bye.